Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. And after the last video on the 15 signs that your body is changing without the actual scale showing it first, you guys left so many thoughtful and honest questions. And I could tell a lot of you guys are feeling frustrated, confused, and even second guessing yourselves. So today we're gonna sit down and walk through some of the questions and even some of your comments that you left that I didn't respond to just yet. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I have all the questions on my phone. The first question that I got is in no particular order, to be honest. From Nami6864, does anyone know how to lose fat in the calf and thighs? I always lost fat on my belly area and arms, but never my legs. Okay, so first off, I completely understand because I've felt this so deeply and experienced this on my weight loss journey as well. And honestly, it just comes down to hormones and your genetics. Many women naturally store more fat in their hips, their thighs, glutes, and calves because of estrogen, as it encourages more fat storage in these areas. This fat also has more of something called alpha-2 receptors, which basically slow down fat release. So what this means in real life is your lower body fat is often the last place your body is willing to let go of that fat. And unfortunately, we don't get to choose the order in which our fat goes. Your workouts don't decide it, your genetics do. The part that actually helps. Now you can't spot reduce fat, so no amount of leg presses or lunges is going to magically melt off that fat in your legs. What you can do is create the conditions that eventually bring those areas along. The foundation is losing overall fat loss. That means eating in a consistent, sustainable calorie deficit, eating enough protein to of course protect that muscle, getting in your cardio and your strength training regularly. And when that foundation is actually solid, your fat will come off everywhere, especially in the areas that you want it to most, even if it's the last to actually change. Now strength training is especially important here. Exercises like your step-ups, your Romanian deadlifts, your split squats, your sled pushes, your leg presses. Now they won't burn fat directly from your thighs or your calves, but they will build that muscle underneath. And that muscle is going to give you that firmer, sculpted look that you're looking for, even before that fat loss happens. Now, cardio matters too, but not in the way that most women think. You can get that long, steady, moderate pace cardio in, that zone 2 cardio. This is going to help with blood flow and fat mobilization as well. So that can be your cycling, your incline walks, your stair climbing, your uphill climbing. All these are great options for your cardio. And don't sleep on daily movement. Steps matter more than people even realize. Constant walking throughout the day is going to improve that circulation, especially in your lower body, and that can make a difference over time. Lastly, your sleep and stress are huge. If you're training hard but barely getting enough sleep and living in survival mode, your body is going to eventually cling onto that fat. And lower body fat is especially sensitive to those stress hormones. Okay, so question number 2 is kind of a comment and a question at the same time. It's from At Home with Holly, right? Because I'm so confused. Why is the scale going up? Now, this is one of the most common and one of the most misunderstood parts of fat loss. Now, actually presuming that you're in a calorie deficit, you're getting your steps in, you're moving, you're doing your strength training, a sudden jump in the scale is almost never just fat, especially overnight. What happens overnight is typically your water retention. Your body constantly shifts fluids, and an increase in your sodium intake can actually cause noticeable weight gain changes. Hormonal fluctuations, especially around your menstrual cycle, play a huge role as well, so pay attention, especially that week right before your period. Carbohydrates also store water in your muscles. Poor sleep and poor stress can actually increase the water retention as well, and all of those things combined can easily increase the scale, sometimes literally overnight. That's water, not fat. And building muscle also affects the scale. Muscle is denser than fat, so as your body recomposes, which is just losing fat or building or maintaining muscle at the same time, the scale might even stall or actually go up before it goes down. Now, another factor is digestion. This matters too. The food in your digestive system actually has weight. Constipation or slower digestion can easily add a few pounds. That's why it's so important to eat your fiber. And then there's your hormones. Just as I mentioned earlier, the week before your period, your estrogen and progesterone often shifts, causing that water retention and bloating. Many women see this as a scale jump during this time and then drop once their period starts. Now, stress once again plays a really big role. Higher cortisol encourages that water retention and can ultimately temporarily mask the fat loss. So if the scale goes up, it doesn't mean that your progress is completely lost. it means that your body is doing what it needs to do. And once again, that's of course if you're in a calorie deficit and doing all the things that you need to do, including increasing movement. So, next question from underscore Sloan Ski Blask. Sorry if I butchered your name. What if I'm losing weight but don't see changes in my body? Okay, so this comes from understanding the difference between weight loss and actual fat loss. Because the thing about the scale is it reflects everything from water, muscle, glycogen, food in your digestive system, not just fat. Sometimes the scale drops because you've lost water or muscle, not fat. Low protein intake, new training programs, or an aggressive calorie cut can all contribute to muscle loss. And when muscle goes, the scale goes down too. So your body can still look a bit softer. Other times fat loss just happens evenly across the body, and that can make it a little bit harder to see at first. It often takes several pounds of fat loss to see visual changes or to make them obvious. And water retention can hide fat loss. So you can be losing fat or holding on to water at the same time. And once the actual water shifts, then changes appear quickly. This is why relying on the scale only can be so misleading. Measurements, progress photos, strength gains, and how your clothes fit all paint a clearer picture. Now the next one is a little bit more of a comment than a question, but I see throughout my comments that a lot of people share the same sentiments. And this is from Deborah Diamond 4538. I hope so. Everything you mentioned rings true. I realized I was able to progress quickly with my weights to heavier weights. I'm 8 weeks in for eating less and working out more, and I've seen no results. Only an inch off my waist. I know it will take time, but it's hard to keep going when I see no results. And girl, I can completely understand because it's so discouraging when you're not seeing results. And it's like, why keep going? But first off, I want to say that 1 inch off your waist is not nothing. And I do have to mention that fat loss is a lot slower than we expect, but it's so difficult to see this because of the transformations that we see on social media constantly. But ultimately, we don't know how long it truly took for them to actually reach that transformation. Our hormones alone make fat loss so much more slower, especially compared to males. And stress, sleep, and life demands can slow down the process as well. So the first 6 to 10 weeks of the fat loss phase is often just an adjustment period. Your body is regulating those hunger hormones, improving your insulin sensitivity, and ultimately learning how to use fat more efficiently. A lot of progress happens internally before it shows up externally. So the 1 inch off your waist represents that real fat loss. Even if it feels super small and minute, that could be your visceral fat coming off first. And that's incredibly beneficial to your health. Water retention, digestion, muscle gain, and small calorie miscalculations can mask small viable results. And stubborn areas like their belly or legs often change last. But if you actually stay consistent, many women actually see their progress accelerate after this initial phase. So remember, fat loss is not a linear process, and plateaus often break suddenly. Light tweaks with your nutrition and even your workouts can actually help accelerate this phase as well. Now, I'm not exactly sure about your training routine or your nutrition, but if you are watching this video, leave it in the comments and I'd love to help with that. If you have any other questions, let me know. All right, that's all the questions and comments I had from the last video that I did not respond to. If I didn't respond to your comment yet, I will be getting to it very soon. If you have any other comments, any other questions, drop them in the comment section below because I actually do read them all. I make videos on women's metabolism, emotional wellness, and hormones. So if that's your thing, go ahead and subscribe, like this video, and leave your comments and questions down below once again. And I'll see you in the next video.